haven't seen anyone do that yet. So yeah, it looks like I'm paying double the price here. All right, YouTube. Well, just wanted to give everyone an update on the LSA build. I have a couple parts that came in, so I've slowly been collecting parts over time, and it's been almost a year now since I started, but I'm getting really close to actually having these parts installed and getting the LSA put on the car. One of the things that I'm missing right now, or actually two things, I already went ahead and purchased them. One of those is the injector, so I ended up going with ID 1300s. And here, let me just show you real quick on this paper that I have. So here pretty much shows everything that I've purchased so far. So like I said, I ended up purchasing some injectors. I ended up going with ID 1300X. They were used, however though, I got them in and I already shipped them out to Injector Dynamics to get them cleaned. The other thing I just recently purchased too was this fuel system. So I ended up going with the 4 Innovations fuel system. Oh, I misspelled fuel there. But anyway, so that was about $2,000 or so. Yeah, I ended up not going with the DSX auxiliary pump. That was one of the pumps that I was looking to go with, but with the 4 Innovations, it's just simply a, you know, it just drops in. There's no having to drill into your gas tank or anything like that. And plus, I'm pretty sure I will not be running out of fuel with this. But anyway, so a couple things came in today. Actually, I ordered a couple parts from GM Parts Direct, which are these parts right here. So I ended up ordering the idler pulley, the tensioner, the fuel line adapter. It looks like a fuel evap tube, the Z01 brake booster hose, the LS9 head gaskets, the Supercharger intercooler gasket or insulator, and then the LSA intake manifold gasket. So all of that came in today. I ended up purchasing all of this stuff from GM Parts Direct, and in total it came out to be about like $450. That's shipping. Actually, these gaskets were pretty cheap on there. So if you're looking to buy like LSA or LS9 head gaskets, you know, check that out. Might save you a little money. But yeah, there's like I said, there's a couple stuff here. Here's the tensioner, some of the an additional pulley that I needed, and then the gaskets. Here I'm gonna end up going with the stock lower pulley, and the blower actually has a 255 upper pulley. So here's actually the old gasket or the old insulator that was in the blower. I'm not gonna use this one. I purchased one, and here's like a bracket and a couple other stuff. But anyways, here's a water pump too that I purchased. So I'm gonna be running 2 water pumps. One of them is gonna be at the front of the car, and then this one's gonna be more in the back, I'm assuming. The main thing is because that's a 9-gallon ice tank that I'm gonna be using. And here is the heat exchanger. So yeah, this heat exchanger is somewhat pretty small, but it is a dual pass, I guess. Heat exchanger. It's about 3 inches thick. This heat exchanger was actually made by STG Motorsports. So it was one of the heat exchangers that they were doing a couple years ago. They actually don't make them anymore, but I ended up finding one on the SS forum and I went ahead and purchased it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it out, see how I like it, and we can go from there. Obviously I'm gonna be running that with this ice tank here, so hopefully it'll work out. Now the reason why I went with this particular heat exchanger and not one of the bigger, longer ones is because I have a transcooler, and that transcooler is actually mounted down there at the bottom. So with that heat exchanger, if I'm not mistaken, will actually be bolted right behind here and right above the crash bar. So moving on, in here we have this 5-inch intake that I purchased, And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really, not too happy with this. I mean, I guess it'll work. I'll try it out and whatnot. Well, I expect it to work, but the way that this was cut, I'm not a big fan of. And then I guess this is a VCM part. So this is supposed to cover up. So if you buy the VCM and you buy all the panels, it's supposed to cover up that area right there. But I guess what that person did, they drill a hole on that cover, and then the intake is supposed to run down into there. So it's gonna be a tight fit, but we'll see how that works out. But anyway, so that's a 5-inch intake. So I might end up later on switching out this K&N intake for maybe a green filter one. I'll worry about that later on. All right, so next up here, this is a ZL1 or CTSV stock converter. So I actually got this one pretty cheap. It was used, but it didn't have that many miles. So that's gonna be thrown inside the car. All right, so like I said, yeah, so that covers most of this stuff. Here is the cam. So I ended up purchasing this cam, and this is from GP Tuning. Now I would share the specs, but I'm not going to. I believe Matt doesn't really like the specs to be shown, but anyways, I also don't want to show the specs anyway. But it's a custom boost cam, so hopefully that works pretty good with the blower. All right, so next up I want to show everyone the actual blower. So here's the lid, and here's the actual blower. So I actually wanted the lid to get painted, and where I got the idea of getting this logo here actually came from that, the flag up there, or actually more like the banner. Anyway, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I haven't seen anyone do that yet, so I went ahead and asked the guy that did the porting on the blower to see if he could actually get that logo on the lid, and he was actually able to do it, and I'm pretty happy with it. It came out pretty nice. All right. Oh, so with this too, oh, let's see if we can pick it up. So yeah, so the intercooler, or the brick, that's in there too, and it's been reinforced also. All right, so now moving on to the blower. All right, so this is the blower. We ended up picking the highest stage port job that he could do on the blower, and I'm glad I actually got that done. So it looks like he ported the runners. He made sure that the blowers spin pretty good. He tested that. Up here, this is a 102 snout port. And also this gets removed, and he poured it inside to try to remove some of the material inside, and and that was a part of his porting process. But yeah, like I said, this is a 255 pulley, so we'll see how that works. And yeah, I got the LSA fuel rail. So this is the one off the CTSV, because it looks like the inlet's over here on this side. I believe the ZL1 LSA fuel rail, the inlet's over here. Anyways, so yeah, that pretty much covers that. So like I said, the other two main things that I don't have here with me are the injectors and also the fuel system. But anyways, just to kind of give you an idea of what I plan on spending, or how much I've spent so far, that's about how much I've spent. Yeah, that's a lot. And the main thing is because these LSA blowers are actually a little bit more pricier than what they used to be back in the day. If you're patient, you can probably get one a lot cheaper. And here's another thing too, Kong came out with their 2650. So I've been seeing a lot of LSA you know, 1900 blowers going for sale. So if you are in the market for trying to purchase a LSA blower, probably right now is a good time, especially because a lot of people are swapping over to the Kong 2650. Anyway, so all of that is going to go inside the car. So this car is set up with a TIC stage 3 polluter cam. So it's a pretty big NA cam, has a 3600 stall in it, and all of that is going to get swapped out. So yeah, it looks like I'm paying double the price here, but at the time I wanted the car to be pretty quick NA. I ran a 11.1 at the track at the quarter mile, so I was pretty happy with that. But to be honest, I think it's time for the blower now. I love the car, but like I said, it's a big cam, big stall, and it's I can't daily drive this car, to be honest. I like driving it on the weekend, but during the weekdays, I'm not a big fan of driving the car, so believe that or not. So, but once the car goes LSA, I'm pretty sure I'll gain back a lot of drivability, and then I'll be driving this car around a lot more. But one thing I am probably gonna miss is the chop on this. So with the big NA cam, and this car sounds pretty good, but we'll see how it does with this boost cam. But anyways, I'll finish off this video with just